The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, well, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Oh, it was instant.
Right. I mean, you know the image. The blinding lights, the frantic whispers, the absolute frenzy when the world's most scrutinized couple makes a move. And today, we are stepping right into the dead center of that media storm.
Because the headline everyone is dissecting right now is just wild.
It totally is.
Probably is.
The headline is this: Travis Kelce just added fuel to the wedding rumors. Welcome to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And our mission for this deep dive is to take a massive stack of, intense gossip columns, frantic local news reports, and these deep cover insider sources to figure out what is actually happening.
Exactly. We are trying to separate the genuine leaks from what might just be, honestly, the most elaborate, heavily funded PR decoy operation in modern Hollywood history. All regarding the highly anticipated 2026 wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
It is a massive undertaking to try and parse out the truth here, but let's build our foundation on the undisputed facts first.
Okay, lay it out for us.
So they got engaged in August of 2025. Following that milestone, Taylor made it explicitly clear that her stated priority for 2026 is her personal life. She released her album, The Life of a Showgirl, in October 2025, but she made a very deliberate, conscious decision not to embark on a massive tour to support it.
Which is a huge shift for her.
Exactly. The sources indicate that both she and Travis are saving their energy for the big summer they have coming up. They are actively choosing to spend time together rather than, living on the road. So operationally speaking, the runway is completely clear for a massive wedding.
The calendar is wide open, the engagement is nearly a year old, and the anticipation is at an absolute boiling point.
Yeah.
But wait until you hear the extreme spy-level tactics they are allegedly using to keep this a secret, including cutting off a very prominent family member.
That part is still shocking to me.
Right. But let's start with what looked like a massive geographical misdirection. A few weeks ago, the internet completely lost its collective mind over a scene in Watch Hill, Rhode Island. Suddenly, right next door to her holiday house estate, this massive, gleaming white tent goes up.
And in the ecosystem of celebrity watching, a white tent of that scale is, it's the universal signal for a major logistical event. It triggers an immediate physical response from the public and the press.
And the reaction on the ground was purely cinematic. You had photographers staking out vantage points from the nearby lighthouse, literally treating it like a surveillance mission.
Wow.
Yeah, and local police were managing traffic because fans were just driving in endless loops. One community service officer, Nick Quaratella, mentioned that his coworker literally saw a fan get down on their knees and bow toward the entrance gate of the property.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes. People were shouting declarations of love from the roadside, and local businesses immediately leaned into the chaos. Like realtor Lauren Negrelli, who also runs a local boutique, she started selling Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce wedding sticker books. The entire town was consumed by the idea that this tent was the epicenter of the pop culture universe.
It's a fascinating study in mass psychology, honestly, how the mere presence of temporary canvas can trigger such a localized phenomenon. But when we look at the reality check provided by the sources, the bubble bursts almost immediately.
Sadly, yes.
A local wedding planner, Nicole Simmerall, she was working at a small chapel right across from the massive yellow Ocean House Hotel. She actually went on the record and confirmed that the tent had absolutely nothing to do with Taylor Swift.
It was just a normal event.
Exactly. It was for a regular, non-celebrity wedding she was coordinating. She noted that she was working a different wedding every single weekend in June in that exact spot, and another tent would be up the very next weekend.
Which makes Officer Quartella's reaction to the frenzy even better. He admitted he couldn't help but joke around with the frantic tourists. When they asked if Taylor was there, he'd lean in and say, oh, did you hear she moved? Yeah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson moved in.
That is hilarious.
And the fans would just look totally bewildered and walk away. But here's the thing. While the tent itself was a bust, there was some actual fire behind the smoke in Rhode Island. The sources uncovered that an Ocean House resort booking and a massive fireworks display planned for June 13th in Rhode Island were abruptly canceled in mid-May.
Very interesting timing.
Right. And the fireworks company handling the show was reportedly told the event had been moved to New York.
Now that is the pivot point in the narrative. A canceled fireworks display isn't just a rumor, it's a paper trail. It involves permits, deposits, corporate communication.
Exactly. And that paper trail immediately makes me think of a military decoy operation. It feels like Operation Fortitude in World War II, where the Allies built fake inflatable tanks to make the enemy look the wrong way before D-Day.
The Phantom Army.
Yes. Is Taylor building a metaphorical phantom army in Rhode Island? You make everyone look at the shining object in Wash Hill, while the real trick is happening completely out of sight in New York? Or did the plans genuinely just fall through?
Well, if we look at the logistical realities of a mega wedding, the inflatable tank analogy is incredibly apt. But so is the idea that Rhode Island simply could not handle the sheer scale of the event they are planning.
How so?
We have a quote in the sources from Audrey Curtis, a vacationer who has been visiting the area for years. She sat on the beach, looked at the mansion, and immediately questioned the infrastructure. She pointed out that New York has JFK and LaGuardia. Watch Hill is a small coastal village.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, it simply does not have the luxury lodging or the massive airport infrastructure required to support the influx of 1,000 celebrities, executives, and high-profile guests. So from a purely logistical standpoint, moving a massive event to a major metropolitan hub is often a necessity, not just a preference.
I mean, you can't exactly land a fleet of Gulfstreams on a two-lane coastal road. So if Rhode Island was a geographical impossibility or just a brilliant decoy, where is the actual main event?
That's the million-dollar question.
Later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking venue choice that has everyone scratching their heads. Because when you pivot from a sleepy beach town to the heart of a concrete jungle, the contrast is jarring. And the headline that dropped from TMZ was a massive shocker.
Oh, definitely. It threw everyone off.
They reported that the wedding is allegedly happening on July 3rd at Madison Square Garden in New York City, with an estimated 1,100 to 1,200 guests.
Madison Square Garden, I mean, the world's most famous arena. At first glance, it sounds completely counterintuitive for a couple seeking intimacy and privacy.
Wait, Madison Square Garden sits on top of the busiest transit hub in North America? How is that a private fortress?
I know it sounds crazy, but when you break down the logistics of absolute secrecy, an arena actually makes perfect sense. MSG operates like a fortress because of how the infrastructure is built.
Okay, explain that.
It has extensive subterranean loading docks and underground parking. That means a fleet of black SUVs can drive straight into the bowels of the building, and guests can enter freight elevators without ever stepping onto a public sidewalk where crowds or photographers could converge.
Wow. So they just bypass the public entirely.
Completely. And crucially, there are 0 windows in the main event spaces. You completely eliminate the risk of long-lens paparazzi shots or drone surveillance. Furthermore, the security plans reportedly involve the NYPD and private security firms working together to close off surrounding streets. It is a highly controlled, easily secured environment designed to move thousands of people invisibly.
Okay, I hear the logic, I really do. The subterranean extraction makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's look at the pushback, because the cultural reaction to this rumor was intense. The pop culture analysis site, Laney Gossip, brought up a really fascinating counter-perspective.
What did they say?
They pointed out that to many people, Madison Square Garden feels tacky for a wedding. The phrasing they used was that it screams, "I want this to be a spectacle," in a way that gives off Kardashian PR thirst rather than elite, understated taste.
Ouch. That's a strong take.
It is. And to add another layer of complexity to the New York theory, the Knicks are currently up 2-0 against the Spurs in the NBA Finals after 2 huge road wins. The city is utterly obsessed.
Oh, of course. The energy there must be insane.
Exactly. The argument is that not even Taylor Swift can make New Yorkers care about anything else right now, while the Knicks are making a championship run.
It is a highly valid cultural observation. Yeah. But Laney Gossip also posed an excellent analytical question. Bringing in Occam's razor, what is the simplest, most obvious explanation here?
Right.
Is it that 2 highly scrutinized public figures are genuinely planning a Kardashian-style arena spectacle for their emotional vows? Or is this MSG rumor a deliberate decoy leaked by Taylor's team to throw off outlets like TMZ and the Daily Mail?
A decoy makes so much sense.
Yeah. And there's also a third, very plausible option floating around, that this massive July 3rd gathering at MSG isn't the actual intimate wedding ceremony at all, but rather a gigantic welcome event for their wider circle of friends, colleagues, and industry contacts.
Put yourself in their shoes for a second. Would you invite 1,200 people to a basketball arena for your wedding? Or is this the ultimate red herring? It feels almost like too obvious, like a giant neon sign pointing the wrong way.
The scale of 1,200 people fundamentally changes the nature of an event from a personal wedding to a commercial production. When you have that many attendees, controlling the flow of information becomes exponentially more difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
Which brings us to the guest list and the extreme measures they're allegedly taking to plug the leaks.
The guest list dynamics alone could fill a book. According to the leaks, we have some confirmed RSVPs and some surprising omissions. Like, Carly Kloss is reportedly invited, which means that long-rumored beef is officially squashed.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Musician Benson Boone is also reportedly in. But then you have actor Miles Teller and his wife Kelly, who have been prominent fixtures in Taylor's social circle. They are reportedly on the outs, or at least not scoring an invite to this specific MSG event.
Interesting.
But here is the critical question. If I'm inviting 1,200 people, I cannot rely on trust. Someone is going to screenshot a digital invite. So how are they stopping that? Are they confiscating phones at the door?
It's worse. They are weaponizing legal threats before you even arrive.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the sources indicate an extreme communication lockdown. There are no physical, beautifully calligraphed save the dates being mailed out because those can be photographed and sold to tabloids for a small fortune.
Oh, of course.
Instead, everything is being handled digitally and under strict legal parameters. Guests are allegedly texted to confirm their attendance. Once they confirm, they don't get the venue details. They just get a link.
And with the link?
That link requires them to sign a strict iron-clad non-disclosure agreement before they're given any actionable information about the event.
A wedding NDA. It is wild, but honestly, in their world, I get it. The NDA prohibits sharing any details and carries severe financial consequences for violations. But the most brilliant part of this whole operation, and this is straight out of a Cold War thriller, is the rumor that Taylor's utilizing a canary trap.
Yes. They are using a canary trap to vet their own social circle.
Like giving out fake clues to see which one ends up printed in the tabloids.
Exactly. You give slightly different versions of a sensitive document, or in this case, a wedding detail, to different subsets of guests. You tell cousin A the wedding is at 4 p.m. in Brooklyn, and you tell cousin B it is at 6 p.m. in Queens.
Right.
If TMZ publishes an exclusive saying the wedding is in Queens, you don't even have to investigate. You look at your spreadsheet, you see who received the Queens detail, and you know instantly that cousin B is your leak.
That is incredibly smart, but also sort of sad, right? You have to treat your friends and family like suspects in an espionage thriller just to have a wedding. It really highlights the psychological toll of that level of fame.
It really does.
But a canary trap works if you have a tight circle. What happens when the weakest link in your security protocol isn't a distant friend, but your own blood? The sources report that Travis Kelce's own father, Ed Kelce, has been completely cut out of the wedding planning trust tree.
It sounds incredibly harsh on the surface, but when we connect this to the bigger picture of maintaining absolute security over a multi-million-dollar operation, the reasoning becomes clear.
Right.
According to sources speaking to the Daily Mail, Ed Kelce is viewed internally as a, quote, loose cannon who simply cannot be trusted with the highly sensitive details of the wedding. And they have a very public historical precedent for this concern.
Oh, we absolutely cannot forget what happened last summer. After Travis and Taylor got engaged in August 2025, Ed Kelce happily chatted with News 5 Cleveland and just spilled all the beans.
He really did.
He went on the record detailing exactly how Travis got her out there, asked her to go have a glass of wine, popped the question, and then immediately FaceTimed Ed and Taylor's parents. It was a sweet, proud dad moment, but it completely ruined the couple's ability to control their own narrative and announce their engagement on their own terms. So now, for the wedding, Ed is entirely out of the loop.
It highlights the unique, often isolating pressure of existing at this level of fame. When your personal milestones are treated as global news events, even the well-intentioned joy of a parent becomes a catastrophic liability. They have to prioritize the security of the event over traditional family inclusion in the planning process.
It really puts into perspective the sacrifices they have to make. If you're loving these Hollywood twists and insider secrets, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in the show. Because with the wedding allegedly weeks away, the NDA signed, and the planning on absolute lockdown, what are the bride and groom actually doing right now to blow off steam? You would think they'd be hiding in an underground bunker, but instead, they are living out loud on opposite coasts.
Yes, the timeline of their current whereabouts is perhaps the most confusing aspect of this entire narrative, and it casts a massive amount of doubt on the idea that the wedding is happening imminently.
Let's set the scene in Los Angeles. It's June 19th at the LA State Historic Park. Travis Kelce is living his absolute best life at a Chris Lake concert.
I saw the videos.
He is not hiding in a dark VIP booth. He is the center of attention. He is there with his brother Jason, his best friend Ross Travis, and the comedian Drewski. Picture this. Travis is wearing a blue plaid long-sleeve shirt, sunglasses on, and he's literally shooting a bubble gun into the air from the VIP section.
Amazing.
Later, he actually gets on stage, grabs the microphone, and hypes up a crowd of 20,000 people. The internet immediately assumed this was a very public, very rowdy bachelor party.
What is fascinating here is the specific musical connection to that concert. Travis wasn't just randomly crashing a DJ set. He was on stage dancing to Chris Lake's official remix of Taylor's song, Opalite.
Oh, that's right.
And for those following the lore of the new album, The Life of a Showgirl, Opalite is a highly significant track because it is named after Travis's birthstone. So even when they are physically apart, the branding and the connection to Taylor are front and center.
And the behind-the-scenes text exchange about this remix is just so pure. Chris Lake shared screenshots showing Travis texting him, calling him a legend, and saying he was going to be ripping the song every car ride.
I love that.
Travis even mentioned he caught Chris Lake and Fisher at Coachella a while back. Then Taylor chimed in, reposting it to her Instagram and confirming that Travis is officially her, quote, in-house house guy. It is a great little glimpse into their dynamic. But while Travis is shooting bubble guns in LA, the big question is, where is Taylor?
Well, that depends entirely on which rumor you believe. One set of reports placed her in New York City. She was spotted leaving Electric Lady Studios with the Haim sisters just hours before Travis's concert in LA.
Which would make sense for MSG.
Right. It aligns perfectly with the idea that she is quietly working or handling business in the city ahead of a potential MSG event. However, a competing set of rumors suggests she was back at the Rhode Island house, hosting a very private get-together with Gigi Hadid, Selena Gomez, Sabrina Carpenter, and Ed Sheeran.
So she is either doing last-minute studio tweaks in Manhattan, or she is hosting a star-studded bachelorette weekend in Rhode Island, while Travis is having a boys' weekend in LA. But here is the ultimate proof that the actual wedding is not happening this exact weekend, despite the media frenzy.
The most definitive clue we have regarding the immediate timeline actually comes from Travis's sister-in-law, Kylie Kelce.
Wait, really? Where was she?
On the exact same day, Travis was at the Chris Lake concert in LA, June 19th, Kylie Kelce was spotted with Olympic rugby star Ilona Maher. And they weren't in New York, and they weren't in Rhode Island.
Where were they?
They were at Disneyland Paris.
Oh, wow, Paris.
Yeah. It is highly improbable that an immediate family member would be on another continent if a wedding were just days away.
So what does this all mean? We have a massive web of clues, misdirections, and logistical nightmares.
If we synthesize the whole picture, what we see is a couple desperately trying to protect their stated priority, the personal life. They are allegedly deploying geographical fakeouts in Rhode Island with giant white tents. They might be planning a highly secured 1,200-person operation at a windowless arena in New York to manage the sheer volume of their social circle.
Right.
They are utilizing digital NDAs, executing canary traps to catch leaking friends, and making the incredibly difficult decision to exclude loose-lipped family members from the planning. And through all of this intense operational security, they are still finding ways to live their lives publicly, enjoying concerts and studio time on separate coasts.
It is honestly a masterclass in modern fame management. But I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. If a 1,200-person, highly orchestrated, heavily secured event at Madison Square Garden is just the decoy or the welcome party, what on earth does the real secret wedding of the world's most famous couple actually look like? Is it even possible for two people this famous to ever truly disappear off the grid and have a truly private moment?
That is the ultimate question they seem to be trying to answer right now, and the entire world is watching to see if they can pull it off.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.